Hey, what's going on, guys? Bates here, and welcome back to the channel. And today I'm here to record my SDL low tier week 3 game. And today I am going against Keith Sheldon, a good friend of mine in the community. And yeah, I'm just very excited to be playing this game against him. So you can see the matchup on your screen as well as the music playing. The matchup honestly was not super great when I first looked at it, in my opinion, because I just saw that Breloom kind of gets shit on, for lack of a better word, by most of his top mons. They outspeed him, they outspeed the Breloom, and for the most part can OHKO it, and then even offensively into his defensive mons. Breloom really isn't all that great, so the best Breloom could have done here was probably put something to sleep, and even then. And then next, I noticed that Seismitoad was probably going to need to be necessary for the Feraligatr and Morpeko, who both had a pretty solid matchup against me, as well as the Typhlosion, which also had a very, very solid matchup against me. Okay, and sorry guys, I had to do a quick pause. But yeah, I noticed Seismitoad was going to be necessary for Feraligatr, Typhlosion, and Morpeko. Although Morpeko gets pretty cracked coverage, but still, I had a ground type would be really nice. So I threw Seismitoad on the team first. Pretty standard Seismitoad here as well. And honestly, I didn't think I need much more Power Whip Haze here for Feraligatr. Definitely think that could have been used much better on several different moves. So yeah, I definitely regret the Power Whip bring. And then I saw Ninetales Alola. Alolan Ninetales has a pretty solid matchup. Ice Resist just isn't super great. It's Doublade and Doublade. I wasn't super concerned with because Skuntank and then Charizard, Mismagius, and Arctozolt, which I all brought, threaten it pretty heavily. Although Arctozolt not as much, but you know, they threaten it pretty heavily, and then Doublade in itself isn't that big of a threat to my team overall. So I decided to bring Ninetales as a more bulky mon here again, but I don't really think it needed the special attack here to thrive in that sense, because it still wasn't going to do much damage, still a low in Ninetales. So, you know, just classic Veil here. Honestly, not too much to explain there. Charizard was the next one that I decided to bring, and yeah, Charizard basically got a 2-ko on every mon except for AV Kecleon, if I remember correctly, and possibly Muck, and maybe Spadef Piloswine. Otherwise, I think it 2-ko'd literally every mon on my opponent's team, and was only outsped by the Swellow and speed tied with the Typhlosion. So Charizard was a huge threat for me into my opponent's team. And yeah, I decided to go with Fire Blast, Hurricane, Flamethrower, so I don't have to risk Fire Blast misses when I don't need to. And then Hurricane pretty much confirms 2-kos on just about every mon, so I really want to make sure that I'm using that as much as possible. Next up, we got Fortress, who, with the Aqua Berry, by the way, Charizard is boots, obviously. With Gyro Ball, Volt Switch, Rapid Spin, and Spikes, the Spadef is to help me take on, I believe, the Gardevoir and the Typhlosion. And that will also help me take some other hits stray here and there, and then the rest is into Fizdef for potentially Gator, Chestnut, Muck, Morpeko, Doublade, etc. And then we went Gyro Ball, Volt Switch, Rapid Spin, and Spikes. Gyro Ball is to threaten Gardevoir, obviously. Mainly also helps threaten Morpeko. And then Volt Switch just lets us get out of there with, especially on Feraligatr or Swellow. And I went Spikes so I can do that as potentially Doublade or Piloswine switch in. Next up, we got Mismagius, who is my big threat here in this matchup with Shadow Ball, Thunderbolt, Vaseline, and Nasty Plot at +2. Has a good chance to OHKO everything except for Spadef Piloswine, if I can recall correctly. Maybe Muck, lived. But yeah, the whole idea was that I would have Veil up and it would be able to set up for free at least one turn. possibly 2, and really got a good chance to take him on and break through his team. And then we have Arctozolt once again mixed, just like the people asked me to do, because I know you love the mixed Arctozolt with Bolt Beak, Ice Crash, Surf, and Blizzard. Bolt Beak shouldn't need any explaining. It's the strongest stab, and it's why Arctozolt is good. Ice Crash is honestly a move that I probably didn't have to bring in this matchup, but I brought. Surf is to hit Piloswine, and Blizzard is for something, but I don't really remember, to be honest with you. Probably Muck. I would just Bolt Beak that. So I think it was for Chestnut to Oko that or something, probably. To be clear, I played this game like a week ago. Really wasn't that long ago, but I played it a while ago, so I don't remember everything about my prep, but I do remember the game pretty well. So, anyways, that's enough rambling about the team. Let's go ahead and get into the game. Okay, and this is the matchup. So, as you can see, it's the team that I brought. And we do see just about everything that I was expecting. Nothing really too out of the ordinary. No for Alligator, as I said, and I also said that Doublade probably wasn't going to be that big of a deal either. And neither one of them came. And we also see no Kecleon, no Muck. Which all were pretty expected, to be honest. Nothing too out of the ordinary that should have caught me off guard. Anyways, this is what I decided to lead here. I decided to lead my Seismitoad as he leads Typhlosion, and I wanted to match up well against Typhlosion off the rip, because I knew if I lead Ninetales into that, that's probably not a good look, or my Fortress. And overall, that was going to be a pretty good lead for him, just because those are 2 likely leads that I could have made. So I thought Seismitoad was a good stop to that. Also to deal with Piloswine, and isn't the worst into the rest of his team outside of Chestnut. So yeah, I decided to go ahead and get up my Rocks though for free, as I did not think he would take that risk to stay in. However, he Rock Slides on my Switch, turn 2 on my Charizard. I definitely should have been way more aware that this was a possibility, and probably should have scouted or something. Obviously, I don't think Fortress was a great switch in, because sub could have been an issue for Fortress. So, admittedly, I did not have a ton of strong plays there, but honestly, Hard Ninetales probably would be fine. Obviously, still weak to Rock Slide, but yeah, that's just so much more preferable to taking a Rock Slide and eating probably 40%, maybe 50% of my health, and at least trading for a Veil Up instead of losing my Charizard for nothing, which is obviously my biggest threat in the matchup, and I just should have been much more aware of that. So now I'm going to play this whole game on the back foot without my Charizard. So I go Ninetales, I set up my Veil, he goes for Rock Slide again. I dodge because I'm like that. And then I go for Moonblast into his Chestnut as he goes for Rock Slide again and crits me through Veil, and yeah, that sucked. So yeah, Rock Slide crit through the Veil. Obviously did like so much more than it was supposed to do with the crit, and then obviously I would have had Veil Up as well. So yeah, ends up doing 83%, which super sucks. And now that basically means I maybe get one more Veil Up after this. And obviously I want more than just one more Veil Up after this, as my whole team falls around Veil. So yeah, that super sucks. And then we also see him come in and get the Rabbit Spin off with his Morpeko. And to say that was this is a poor early game for me would be an understatement. And we do see him go back, or we see him Fire Fang my Fortress, gets rid of my Octoberry as well, which sucks. I do Gyro Ball for a ton of damage at least, which is nice. I may just get my Stealth Rogue back up. I do eat a Freeze Drive, but that's okay. I knew I'd Veil Up, so that's just fine. And then I go back to Fortress, eat that Crash, and I believe I'm going to use this opportunity to try to get Spikes up and Rabbit Spin away these rocks. So what I'm going to do here is Spike, and I actually think this is when I start playing. Okay, I Rabbit Spin now, and then I use this opportunity to go Hard Ninetales as he does not attack, and I'm going to be able to get another Aurora Veil Up, which is obviously huge. Kind of wish that killed me, not going to lie. I'm going to go for Moonblast though, and he does kill me. And now I'm going to use this opportunity to get my Arctozolt in, which is unfortunate because it's only got 2 turns of Hail here. And I'm going to go for Surf, eat an EQ, and go for another Surf, and going to be able to kill the Piloswine. So that's a decently huge wall for my Mismagius, which maybe has a chance to win now. So I bring it out, and either Nasty Plot or Dazzling Gleam on this turn. I decide to Dazzle, because if I Nasty Plot, over predicting, and he just stays in because he's so obviously up when I have literally a Fortress that does nothing and a Seismic Toad left. Yeah, so it just makes sense for him to stay in there, and I didn't feel like I could make that over prediction because Swallow still outspeeds me. And there's a decent chance that Typhlosion or Gardevoir, one of them are scarred. So, yeah, and with that in mind, I'm probably really screwed because I need the Veil to not die to Swallow with my Mismagius, and then I also end up eating 2 Life Orb hits here, as well as an eruption, or as well as 2 eruptions. Only one of them was powerful, and another Life Orb hit. So yeah, that sucks. And then obviously he goes Swallow, and he's gonna be able to clean me up pretty much because of Scrappy Boom Burst, which yeah, I mean, would have been much better had I possibly been able to keep my Charizard around, which I believe lived 1 Boom Burst. Well, honestly, to be honest with you, I never had a great shot versus the Swallow anyway with what I brought, and that's just how it is. Obviously, would have been great to keep around my Charizard and maybe set up for a better in-game with Mismagius or Arctozolt after breaking through a little bit with Charizard. So that was probably my biggest mistake in terms of playing, is sacking Charizard, and then I was basically on the back foot for the rest of the game. After that, I did manage to only bring it down to 2-0, but that's probably just due to the offensive nature of my team. And yeah, that's just it sucks to be going down 1-2 now to start the season, but I am 1-2 plus 3, so we're not negative differential at least. So it could be worse. We have a pretty good differential considering the record. And I tell Keith, like, yo, bro, I'm going to make playoffs, so I hope you're ready to play me again. Let's see if I can make good on promise. Anyways, that is it for the content today. Like the video if you like it, and subscribe for more. Catch you guys next time. Peace.